Action.
Yep. Now go ahead.
Action.
I'm drawing a blank.
Welcome to We Don't Have the Answers. We don't even have an intro podcast.
We don't even have an intro. We don't even know. Like, there's this struggle we have where it's like we're trying to be authentic while also like having just like a regular conversation between me and her. And we feel like this intro where we like welcome everybody else to our conversation is weird. And so we sit here and we stare at each other like, how do we
we try 3 or 4 times.
how do we welcome other people?
Maybe we should have just an episode, a short clip of just all the messed up intros we've done.
Of us just sitting here like, what's up? Hey, what's going on? Oh yeah, there's a camera there.
I'm Amber Moore.
I'm Robert Moore. We're glad you're here today. This may be the last time until the end of this conversation that we address you guys, but know that you're about to join us for a conversation that I'm nervous. That's not an often thing. I don't really get nervous about conversations. And I don't know if I'm nervous. I just think that I'm like,
you don't know what to expect.
I
don't know if it's necessarily do you feel like you're actually like nervous about what could come out of it, or just like you don't know where this might go?
I'm nervous because I don't know where this is going to go. And I don't know. There is so much of this, like every conversation that's so unscripted that we didn't have prior conversations about. And we're just going to jump right into something that I think I know we're going to process out loud. I mean, the initial thought and the topic just made me be like, oh my goodness, are we really going to talk about this? Is this something that needs to be talked about? But you picked a topic today, and I felt like
I did, and I think it's one that I think a lot of women would resonate with, but I also think equally a lot of men would resonate with, especially when you're dealing with marriages, or yeah, we'll say marriages.
any partnership, I would say that any people who live and do life together and have to experience the ups and downs of their partner.
So I guess I should explain. So Robert sent me a clip on Instagram, right? Is that what it was? Yeah. Of like a reenactment of a conversation.
On Instagram, right? Go ahead, continue.
Anyways, he sent me a clip on Instagram. I couldn't remember if it was Facebook, Instagram. I couldn't remember which one. From Instagram of a reenactment of Nikki Giovanni's conversation that she had. She's a poet that she had, and
with James Baldwin,
another poet, and it was a conversation surrounding how men show up in the home with their significant others.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, we'll put a link down below to the conversation. I think it's just like on YouTube. But essentially, Nikki Giovanni says, if you loved me, you would lie to me. And she is saying that in the context of how he is coming home.
Mm-hmm.
How when he's at work, when he's interfacing with the world outside, he is smiling and he is happy and everything seems great. But when he's coming home, he is giving her less. And hold on, I wrote a quote. Yes. And so the one quote in the reenactment, and I don't think Nikki Giovanni says this in hers, but the reenactment says, the person that loves you the most gets the least of you. So I want to talk about that. You sent it to me to talk about, and then I was like, "We're going to save this one." No, you did.
I sent it to you.
No, you didn't even send it to me. You actually said, "Hey, watch this," and I watched it, and I was like, "Ooh." Initially, I had a lot of feelings. I still apparently have a lot of feelings, and I was like, "I think we should unpack this on the podcast instead of having a conversation." And then him being like, "Oh, we should talk about that on the podcast." I just decided, let's get it out of the way and let's do it all in one. Let's unpack it and talk about it on the podcast at the same time.
So, disclaimer, as we normally like to put it, we are not coaches.
No.
We don't have the answers to how this should work, should look, will work, will come out in your relationship. We're going to process this in the filter, through the filter of our own relationship, through the filter of our own experiences, through the filter of our own pain points, whatever we have walked through in the past and currently, that allows us to speak on this, and knowing that in all of that there may be certain things that will resonate with you. And this conversation will continue to go, not just here, but also in the comments. We expect this conversation to continue to flow in the comments, because we can only speak from our standpoint, and not in and how other relationships look, and what
Right.
this looks like in other people's relationships.
Right.
So I think the title of this would be, "If You Love Me, Then You Would Lie to Me." That sounds crazy, by the way.
It does. And
And
it does. And I think that clip, that idea is not a new one, nor is it one that I think on the surface people would be like, that's not true. That's not how I feel. That's toxic. And it is. And I think that oftentimes we want our partners to bring the best of themselves to us. And when people bring the best of themselves to you, that means they are dishonoring the worst parts as well. Like they can't bring both. Like bringing my whole self to you means you get the good and the bad. Now that doesn't, when I'm saying good and bad, I'm not saying extreme of like anger or whatever. I'm saying sadness. Or anger is not bad necessarily. I mean like violence. I'm not talking about that kind of bad. I'm talking about the bad days, the sad days, the anxious days, the days where I'm not prepared, or the days that things didn't go right. You don't just get to bring the good to someone and experience the whole person. But I think a lot of women, because this is from a woman that's saying this, I think a lot of women do feel cheated because they feel like everyone else experiences the best of their man, and all she gets is the bad because he's used up all his best.
Okay, so yes. So to even add context to all of this, in the reenactment as well as in the original recording of the conversation, the man's point of view, or his thoughts, and I would say that they're my thoughts as well. I resonate with this. Is that outside of my home, the people I interact with don't care if I'm having a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care if something's going on in my home that is dramatically changing how I show up. And not to say they don't care, not to make it seem like they're just heartless, but they don't owe me that, to say, man, outside of, man, I'm really sorry that happened. That's it. That's really all they may owe me, if they want to even offer that. But the way we view it is that I am paid to come here and work.
Right.
I am paid to show up and bring a level of customer service, depending on what my job is, bring a level of professionalism to the job. And when people think of professionalism, they think of a lot of people. I remember back then people used to say, I want you to leave your baggage and all the stuff that you brought with you at the door.
Right.
So you can come in here and do the job that we have for you. And so, hearing that, what that always meant to me was they don't care what I'm dealing with. They don't care what I'm experiencing. They don't care what's happening at home between me and my wife. They don't care what's happening with my kids. And so with that said, I recognize that I can't show up and be fully, and I've had this conversation with other guys, I can't show up and
Mhm.
be fully me.
Right.
I can't show up and be fully me, um, sometimes culturally.
Mhm.
I can't show up and be fully me emotionally, and I can't show up and be fully me even physically from a standpoint of, like, if my back's hurting, can you do the job?
Right.
If not, "Hey, look, maybe you should go home." If you're not feeling well, "Hey, look, there's nobody here that wants to make you chicken noodle soup and give you an ice pack." It's like, "Hey, look, just go home." So, recognizing that that is not the space for me to show up and 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 be authentic and be honest and be open, I hide it there. I lie. Not even I lie, I just hide it. I lie, "Hey,
Well,
look, how you doing?"
I think there's a low. I mean, I don't know if I think we think lying, or we label lying as like very sinister all the time, like as like this, and it is. It's not. I mean, it's not good to lie. I'm not sitting
Yeah, I
here
was about to
saying
say, I can't sit here and doctor up lying. I mean, like, it's
no, but I'm
hard.
saying, but I do think it's a the I guess the motivation is different when you're talking about job, because I would probably argue women feel the same way.
Right.
Well, I don't have to argue. I know I feel the
Yeah.
same way.
Yeah,
Like I have to go
100%.
to yeah, I have to go to work, and I've got to put my best foot forward, and
Mhm.
it doesn't matter if I have a headache, it doesn't matter if you know, I
Yeah.
start my period, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter if, I've literally spent the entire morning, arguing with kids, or whatever it might be, right?
100%.
Or even arguing with you, or
Yep.
whatever it might be. Like
Yep.
I have to, so I understand the part of you go and you put your best foot forward to work.
Mhm.
I think my question
So hold on real
okay,
quick. Let me say
sorry.
this. If someone were to ask you, they walk in and they see the look on your face, like, "Hey, look, you don't look like hey, you had a rough morning, everything okay?" Now, you have the opportunity to say,
And a lot
"No,
of times I take it. I'm like,
everything's
"No, don't
not
ask
okay."
me."
But in most
Right.
cases, you're like, "Yeah, no," and at that point, what you
Or it's like,
realize is
"I'm
like, "Hey,
fine."
they're reading my face, so let me fix my face." No, "Hey, look, everything's cool. It's all good." Like,
Right.
"No, sorry. I was just thinking about some things. Some things were going through my mind. No, everything's good. Hey, look, what's going on today? How can I get to work? What can I do for you?" You immediately go into like, "Let me put all that behind me. Sorry, I meant to leave it at the door, but it must have come in on my face. What's going on today? How can I help you?" And you hide, mask, and lie about what's really going on in your life.
Right. Right.
Yes.
But I would say, I think there's a level of that just, I guess, whether I mean, we could argue whether that's okay or not in the workplace, and whether that there's space for,
But that's
but
not the
that's not,
conversation.
that's right, that's
Right,
not.
right,
The
right, right.
question is how
So
then
then so then the question is, so we go in deeper and say, okay, so now after you've lied all day and you've masked it, you've hidden how you feel, what's going on in your life, what you're hiding behind a smile.
right,
So know that in this case, you have all day smiled through this pain. And I didn't realize this until this was me, till it's been me, that like doing this all day long, when your body, when your nervous system is saying, "What are you smiling for? What is so good right now? Why are you laughing?" It it takes an immense amount of energy
absolutely.
and strength to hold up that smile, to almost hold up both sides of your face so that you can smile through what you're feeling. So by the time you leave work, you leave your profession, and you go home to those at home, there's this idea that why would you lie and smile at them all day and then come home and give us less than what you gave them. Give us be just lay it all down and give us less than what you gave them all day. You gave them a smiling professional you for 8+ hours.
Right.
And now here you are at home and you're just like,
And I think the question is, and the question I have,
mhm,
first of all, there are many layers
mhm,
to this discussion. So number one, I do think there is, because I think women can. I think there are men out there who would be like, yeah, my wife does that to me. She goes all day and she's Miss Sunshine, and then comes home, and you would, I'm not. I don't know. Is a completely different person, right? I think men could have the same thing. So I don't want to just put this on women or men. However, I think there is a level of responsibility on the spouse that's coming home that is faking it all day. That there is a level of responsibility on them to take ownership and find ways to work through their frustration or whatever is going on to a degree. And I'm not talking about one day. I'm talking about this as like a habitual, because I used to feel a little bit like this with you. Like,
mhm,
you would go out and you were jovial and you were entertaining and you were nice to everybody. And then you came home and it was like, like, you barely want to talk.
mhm,
Or you, like, it's like you barely existed.
mhm,
And a lot of times I feel, and again, I think there was a time when I was like, why can't you just be like that
mhm.
when you're at home? Like, why? And not knowing I was asking you to lie, right? Not really. I don't think we ever go in and say, why can't you just lie to me? I know the poet said that, but
Right.
that's not what a female would, or a male or anybody would probably say in a relationship. Not in a,
I don't know. I
maybe, like,
mean,
maybe not in like a,
I think there is a sense of like you could lie to me, you lied to them. Like
yeah, but I think then people will be like, oh, yes. But I don't think I would have ever used the words, "Why can't you just lie to me?" I think I would have said, like, "Why can't you just put on your happy face for me? Why can't you just give me the same energy you gave
fake it,
them?"
fake it,
Fake
fake it,
it,
fake it
right?
for them, fake it for me like you fake it for them.
Right, and I can see now, like, how unhealthy that is, and I'm torn because I do not necessarily think that the whole world should get the best of you and your family should only get the parts that are hurting. I don't think that it is. I think as a spouse, a responsible spouse or partner, I think as a responsible parent,
Mhm, mhm.
your kids, your family, your partner should not experience only the broken in you.
Okay.
That is not to say that the your spouse or your partner should not experience the brokenness with you.
Right.
But in the clip, now, to be clear, in the clip that we watched, he was not sharing with her. He was pushing her away. He was not coming to her and saying, "Hey, this is going on," or like there was not like there's a level of intimacy that gets created when you share.
Right.
But in this clip, and I think I may be wrong, but my experience with men and you really is that, like, a lot of times,
Man, wait a minute.
wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Um, it's not that they're coming home and they're sharing. Oftentimes they're coming home and they're pushing away, or they're lashing out in anger
Mhm.
at you and or the kids.
Right.
And so I
So
understand.
hold on. So I think this is a great place, a great opportunity for you to even ask the question. Why is that? Like, so we don't make this so general. Like I think I think that a lot of
I
people always speak on like, hey, look, I noticed you just lash out and you don't ever bring us and not even specifically about a specific thing. Cause I think in that particular clip, the guy was trying to we sometimes try to protect you from what we're experiencing inside. I don't want you to go down with my ship. So I'm going to keep it inside of me so that you don't have to experience what I'm experiencing because it almost becomes like this macho thing of like, oh, well, like it's mine to carry. It's not yours to
Can I
carry.
throw a wrench?
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm not speaking for all women.
Hmm.
I am saying I have been in the scenario personally
Okay.
where I don't want to know. And hear me out. It's not that I don't love
It's fair.
you.
No, it's fair. It's fair. It's
It's
fair.
that I also have spent all day faking it, and I'm faking it right now. And you want me to ask you to unload on me when I'm barely holding it on together. I'm barely able to even come with my half a foot forward, best
Hmm.
foot forward.
Hmm.
And so I think there's a space of it's like, are we as spouses? I am not saying, again, I want to be very clear when I'm saying this because I feel like this could be wildly taken out of context. I am not saying
And
you
it
should.
will.
Probably between you and me, you're gonna be like,
No. They listen. The internet has a way of eating people up on their own. It's like, oh, we had a great conversation, and they all hate us now. But
No, I think I think there is I don't want there is space for sure where partners should be there for one another. But there are, I think, instances, especially when you have not obtained that level of intimacy with your partner. So there are people out there that with their spouses, or I say partner because I don't know if you're married or not, but there maybe haven't developed that. And maybe that would be probably the place to start, like having the intimacy to be able to hear your partner's weight and not necessarily carry it with them, because I don't know if it's really your partner's responsibility to carry that weight in the same way. And that's a whole nother conversation of itself. Like,
not even another whole
yeah,
conversation.
it will be in this
I
one
would just
probably. Yeah.
quickly say that no, I don't think it's my job, and I don't think it's your job to carry my partner's weight, because as you said, I'm already carrying things, and we say this a lot to each other. Right now, my capacity sometimes, depending on the day, may be that I don't have the capacity to carry your weight. So I would rather you lie to me so that I can believe that my weight is the only weight that's really being carried.
Because there's a sense of hopelessness that comes with I'm already drowning, and you're asking me to save you and to throw you a life vest.
Oh, okay. There it is right there. If I open up, I'm asking you to save me and throw me a life vest. Why is it that me sharing immediately means, and I know this is how it is a lot of times with men, that I've got to fix that and help you carry that? Why can't it be that if I share, I don't want you to now pick this up with me? I'm not asking you to carry this. I'm not asking you to have to take up the mental strain that this may put on you that it's already putting on me. And so in sharing it, if I open up, if I come home and I decide to say, instead of faking, but letting you know there's a lot going on right now, I'm experiencing a lot, without beating you up. Because I think a lot of people, I think what really triggered them was like, oh, so you'll come home and beat on me and treat me worse than you treat your coworkers. And that can look different based on the guy. I mean, know that there are some guys who come home, and unfortunately, this is unfortunate, that they come home and they lash out because they don't know how to address their pain. So their pain looks like anger.
Right.
Their confusion and hurt looks like a lashing out, an angry person who decides to maybe get physical, even get verbal.
Yeah.
There's a verbal lashing out that can happen, that can be just as bad as a physical lashing out. But because they don't know how to process it, and because a person sometimes may be like, well, what's wrong with you?
But let me say this.
Go ahead.
Yes, verbal lashing out is harmful, but I think, and I may be wrong about this, so I won't fact check it, but I believe I have heard this, that like silent treatments and things like that can be just as brutal.
For sure.
And especially like for kids and stuff, can be just as, we'll say, harmful as someone cussing you out.
That's a good
So
point. Yeah.
I don't like those. I think sometimes we're like, well, he doesn't cuss me out or lash out, but he literally is ice cold. He goes into his room and plays his video game for the rest of the night, and I don't see him. I bring him his food in there. I don't see him.
Wow,
that's just as harmful and hurtful to a relationship and kids as the cussing and screaming, and maybe not the physical like that. I mean, I think that's a whole nother area, but that is just as harmful. So I don't want to pass by that, because I think for some people that's maybe more upsetting, because it's like, I don't even exist. At least the person cussing me out has the audacity, or has the not the audacity, but has the ability to see me. When someone just shuts the door and they're gone, I'm not even seen. I'm not even, like, I'm literally non-existent.
And what's crazy about that, as you were saying that, I was thinking to myself how, we were talking about our daughter recently, and how, like, sometimes she likes to push the buttons of
Her
siblings, and how she does it because she'd rather not feel feel invisible to them, and if nothing else, she may get a fight out of them, and I was saying how I remember that used to be me,
Yeah.
and how sometimes I would rather somebody be welling on me than
Yeah.
ignoring me, and maybe that is how a lot of people feel in a relationship where their spouse comes home and they're just quiet. They don't verbalize anything. They just go off into their own little
Yeah.
cave, and they you're right, you feel invisible. You feel like you're in a relationship with yourself.
Well, worse, I mean, you feel like you've seen all these people all day long, and I'm not even worth being seen. You feel worthless. And so, I guess what this hit me so hard because I can see and understand that, no, you should not ask your partner to be fake. You should not ask your partner to lie. And I don't think your partner should expect you to just carry and hold space indefinitely for all the bad and and that partner not have any responsibility to share in the good.
Okay, okay, so when you say
Does that make
hold
sense?
space, yeah, no, it does. When you say hold space, I think that's something that's not talked about, of what does that space look like? Because I think
Yeah,
that
that's fair.
sometimes by the time the person feels comfortable to use that space, maybe the space looks different. Like before, maybe it was like, okay, well, if you want to talk about it, I'm here. Um, and maybe maybe I decide today that, hey, look, I want to use that space. Why are you smiling? What are you smiling for?
I wanna let
Okay.
you finish and then I'll
And,
say.
and so maybe I decide to take you up on that and open up a little bit. Now I know one huge fear for men is that if I share something with you today, this may come back and you may use this against me in an argument. You may use this against me in a later future conversation. You may use this against me to demean me, to emasculate me.
So, I was gonna actually that's why I was smiling.
Okay.
I do not want to breeze past or act like that women do the best with handling male emotions,
Yeah.
because we do not. I don't think we've been taught how to handle male emotions. I don't know if that comes from males, I don't know if that comes from females. I don't know where that originated from,
Hmm.
but I do not believe women, sorry, in my experience, have been taught how to handle a male's disappointment, because male disappointment, male sadness, and I know this sounds weird to say male, but it comes out differently, and because we don't relate and we can't understand, it's almost like, "Oh, well, he's just being soft," or "He just in his feelings right now." Instead of it's almost like we dismiss it for our safety, and because it's almost like we don't understand it, and so if we don't understand it, it's like, well, that's it. And so to a degree, I think what the thing is saying when she says, "I wish you could fake it for me," she's being honest in the sense like, I don't know if I could even handle your emotion. I don't know if I would even know what to do if a man cried in front of me. Some women can not tolerate men crying in front of them. I think our society has kind of moved away from that, but I think
And when you say they've kind of moved away from that, like meaning like what has changed? What's made them move away from it? Because
well, I think the rise in like therapy and stuff like that. I think there's been a much needed conversation around that.
for men or
Around
for women?
I think it starts around men, but women participating in those conversations, understanding that maybe the way that we were raised, the things that we saw as quote unquote manly or masculine, or because let's be very clear, I was not raised with a father in the home, but I do remember, and I have a lot of friends who were raised with fathers in the home who they say, yeah, my father was there, but he wasn't really there. Like he was there, but he worked all day. He came home and we really didn't see much of him. Some people will say saw him at the dinner table, but it wasn't like the way dads are kind of encouraged to be now. Like, right? A lot of times he was always working, so he didn't come to my games. It was always my mom, that kind of stuff.
Mhm, mhm.
So
And imagine how we saw that as males watching a dad who was
Right.
emotionally absent and said,
Absolutely.
"Okay, so when he's I get it now, like, he must have been going through the
Yeah.
same thing I'm going through." And so here he is, he comes home and he's distant and he's in his head and he's off in his room and he may come to the table and eat with
Right.
us, but he may not. And so later on, I realized that, okay, as a man, when you're carrying the weight of the family, maybe that's what I'm supposed to
Yeah.
do. I'm supposed to hide this weight away from my family so they don't have to deal with it. And so we are literally just repeating the pattern of what we've
That's why I say
always
I
seen.
don't really know if it comes from females teaching this to males or if this is like males that teach this to males and females. Like I'm not sure where the origin of that, and it could be probably a mix, right? It could be a little bit of both. It probably is a little bit of both, I should say. But I think when women are, even if they're not saying fake it and lie to me,
Mhm,
if they are, maybe when you come home and you've given your best and you're in a mood or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, go to work and you're all fine, then you come here and you don't even want to have a conversation with me."
mhm,
I think what they are, I think they're saying that they want more of the man, or we'll just say spouse, because I know it can go both ways.
mhm,
Um, and I think that they have to recognize what they're asking for,
mm,
because you're not just asking for him. You can't, in a partnership, and someone, like, you can't just ask for the good, otherwise you are asking him to lie to you. And that opens the door when you start lying to your partner just about that, it opens the door to all the other lies.
100%, 100%.
And I think that's why when you say, "This sounds crazy to say, if you love me, you would lie to me."
Yeah,
And I think we do ask our partners to do that,
yeah.
not realizing that we're asking them to lie to us.
And the crazier part is that when you start lying about how I'm doing and you hide everything, then I think it opens the door to lying and hiding everything. Like
Yeah.
everything. I mean, like what if you want me to lie about that, then I'm going to lie about where I'm going. I'm
Yeah.
going to lie about how I'm coping with this. I'm going to lie about what, because that's ugly.
Yeah.
The way I'm coping with this, it's ugly.
Yeah.
So let me smile and tell you everything's
'Cause it's
fine
gotta
and
come out somewhere, right?
100%.
It's gonna come out, whether it comes out in video games, drinking, women,
100%.
gambling, right? Like, it's gonna come out some way.
100%.
Um, Now, for a Christian marriage, I would say also taking those feelings and what's troubling you, going to God about them. Because at the end of the day, Christian or not, your spouse cannot fix your problems. Your spouse cannot hold all your problems. So where your spouse may be empathetic and can um experience what you're going through, like, be there for you in that experience, at the end of the day, that's all they can do.
Well, and I think even in saying that though, that okay, all they can do is listen. All they can do is be there for you. I think that's where it opens up the conversation of like, okay, so if your man were to open up and say, "Hey, look, I am struggling. I'm struggling. You don't know this, but financially, we are in a hole. I am struggling to keep this job with what's going on the job, and I am hiding it from you, and I am trying my best to hold it together. And so when I come home and I punch holes in the garage, it's because I want to punch somebody at work." I think that there should be a plan to not just say, "Well, I'm listening to you. I'm hearing you out. I'm allowing you the space to talk about this." But but the same way, if your man was struggling and said, "I need help with this alcohol addiction," and you would send him to maybe look up some things, maybe send him to AA. Why is it that we can't offer or say, "Hey, look, maybe you should look for the resources to maybe find a group of guys you can talk to about this. Maybe find a counselor, a therapist." There's this savior complex that happens in a space of like, why would I want somebody else to save my man or save my wife when I can save them, when I can do it, and not say, "Hey, look, I will give you the space and try to hold space for you without making you feel less of a man, less of
Yeah.
a woman, but there comes a point where I don't think I can do anything more than listen without trying to fix, because I think after you've listened enough, you're like, "Okay, what can I do to fix this?"
Yeah, I mean, I think
I told you we were
I
gonna get
mean,
in here.
no, I mean, I think that, yes, definitely. I mean, just in my own experience and you and I's experience, there is this for me, it's processed a little different. Sometimes it's like, okay, how have I so if it's like, let's say it's like a stress at work, right? Or no, I'm trying to think of an example that like somehow it's like, am I doing something to cause this?
Mhm.
The other thing, and then it's like, well, then all you've made it about you. So that can create some tension. But also the savior complex though is interesting because I don't. Yes, I think you can point them to those resources, but what happens when they don't take them? When a
When they
man comes to you or a female, whatever, when someone comes to you and says, "I'm going through XYZ right now."
Mhm.
And yes, you can't help them, and you point them to the way of, like, help. So let's just say for drinking, we would point them to AA, just giving an example,
Mhm.
and they don't take that,
Mhm.
and the behavior continues. I think there's a level of, like, there's a responsibility on the person who's coming.
Okay,
Do you see what I'm
no,
saying?
I do. So let me say this. First of all, you can't point a person to anything if they don't feel like they need help.
Right, that's true.
You can't tell a person that they should go try this if they don't think they need any help with it.
Right.
Sometimes people think, well, if you would just listen, maybe that would help. I believe that you've got to, like in my case, let's speak about ourselves. In my case, unless I'm ready to receive help, then you pointing me, offering me, telling me about all these great things, it's not hitting home. It's not, because I think that I'm good right now. I think that I just need to blow off a little bit of steam, and you know what? Maybe I'll even open up a little bit to you. But I've been doing good with these video games. I've been doing good hiding and lying the women that were in my life. I've been doing good with just coping with drinking or whatever I did to cope with this. And so it's not until I recognize or say, I'm struggling and I need help, that that I would even begin to say, "Oh yeah, let me go and search out a counselor to
But see,
talk about
this is
this."
where I think the unspoken truth of "if you love me, you would lie to me" is because if a man is not ready to do any of those things,
Mm,
most likely he's not going to come home and open up to his wife, but let's just say he does,
mhm,
and he's not going to change. He is gonna continue the same behavior.
mhm,
At this point, it does feel like you don't love me. At this point, you've come home, you've opened up to me. Let's just say I've handled it well, because let's be honest, that could be that's up in the air.
right,
Let's just say I've handled it well. I say, okay, I'm going to come alongside you. Let's get you some resources, whatever.
mhm,
And then you decide not to take those resources and you continue in that behavior.
mhm.
Then at that point, there is a question of, do you love me? I don't think it's do you love me, but that's what happens in our minds.
Or
And so,
how are you loving me? And I
right.
think
And so I guess my whole kind of what stirred me in this whole when you sent that is, yes, I can understand from the male perspective, like you're asking me to come home, and because males, I think females get a little bit more of a pass on emotions in the workplace than males do. We are, yeah. I mean, we're able to be a little, I think, uh, there's somebody that's gonna be like, not me. I'm not saying like,
oh, there's always plenty of people that can say not me.
right.
If you're hoping you're talking to the
No,
majority, you're gonna
I'm just
realize.
saying in my experience, I think even if it's not with like your bosses, but even like other females at work, right? Like I can go to work and I have other females that are not necessarily my bosses that I could go and talk to. I actually have done that
Mhm.
during hard parts of my life. I don't know if from my understanding, males do not have the same. They would probably not do that.
We don't normally build that type of
Those type of like,
relationship
right.
at work.
But for
It's
women, you don't build that. I mean, to a degree you build it, but it doesn't have to be like like, I think for males, it's a different, like, it's a more in-depth building process than for women. Um, I
It's
don't
almost like somebody's gotta start building that, and the question for a lot of guys is like, well, who wants to look vulnerable at work first? Who
right.
wants to be the guy who comes to work and
Well,
says,
and
"Hey,
let's
look,
be
I'm
honest,
struggling," and
corporate
such?
is like it's about building or climbing the corporate ladder and dog eat dog. I
100%,
mean, all those things. So
100%,
none of that really
100%.
fits with the let me come in with my emotional
'Cause if I
baggage.
'cause if I tell you that I'm struggling, like,
Right.
"Oh, well, he's not built for this corporate ladder."
Right.
Maybe look, he's
Well,
struggling.
he
He
can't keep
can't
up with
even
his
keep up
work.
his
Yeah.
he can't keep together his own home life.
Yeah.
Why would we trust him with So, yeah, there is this thing of like, "Oh, no, he's not ready for this." So,
Right.
yeah, no, it can get really weird.
So I guess my thing is, so I think that's what kind of stirred me in the video. Like, yes, I understand that's not how we should be. I should not expect, if you've had let's say you're just in a hard season at work, for
Mhm,
you to come home and fake it with me and not share the hard parts. And I think there is some responsibility on the partner who is experiencing this,
mhm,
who is experiencing the hard at work, who's having to fake it at work and is coming home. There is a responsibility on them to do everything within their power
mhm.
to try and find the most healthy outlet so that they can show up as a full, I don't want to say happy, but like a full partner.
Yeah,
Because I think we can get so caught up on kind of like the sides of like, well, you should come home and, be happy for me. And then someone else on the flip side being like, well, I can't share anything at home, or, well, this is the only place I can be honest and real. And I think there's some truth to that. Your
yeah,
home should be safe. You should be able to come home from
yeah,
a hard day. If
sure.
you're coming home every single day and you're not ever sharing and you're not ever opening up and you're not ever like real, I shouldn't say ever. Let's just say, we'll say majority of the time, more than 75% of the time.
Mhm,
If you're giving your best at work or outside of the home more than 75% of the time than you are in,
mhm,
I think there is a question of there is something at the root of that. There's something wrong, whether it's you don't feel safe with your partner, whether it's you don't have the proper outlets, whether it's you don't know how to express your feelings, whether it could be a list of things.
for sure.
But I don't think that's on your partner to try and drill down. You have to want that. You have to see that this is not functioning. This is dysfunctional.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
think that's the part that gets me, is because, yes, we can say that's wrong to say, if you love me, lie to me.
mhm,
But we're not sharing this ownership of what loving me well looks like.
yeah, no, for sure.
Because I don't think anybody expects someone to always be happy. Well, I wouldn't think, I think that's very naive if you do. I'm sure there's someone out there, but I think it's very
Yeah,
naive.
yeah. So you know me, I I sit here and I'm thinking about all this stuff and I'm like, yo, but like it sounds good. I mean, we can break this down and process through this. But I sit here and I think about our own marriage and our own life of how there was a time where I I recognize I shared too much. Do you recall that? Like how I used to overshare. I used to give too much. And not even from you, but I begin to hear a messaging from others around me that, yo, like you talk too much. You share too much.
Yeah.
You give too much. And so in a
If you were honest with yourself, were you giving vulnerability, or were you giving information for shock value, or like or like was it you weren't truly being vulnerable in those moments? And maybe you were testing waters?
Possibly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think there's a level of vulnerability that's built in a relationship where you see how people respond to what you initially say, what you talk about, and then decide how much they can take and then how much they can't take. And so later on, you build it based on, oh, okay. Like when I said some crazy stuff, it was like, yo, what? Like, and it's like, okay, all right, got it. There's levels to this.
Yeah, and I mean,
There's levels to this. But I would say, okay, so where I was going to go with
sorry,
that is that
I'm just about to go off.
yeah, hold on. I was going to say that like, and so in response to that, you do just lie. Like, I remember I used to smile and lie and act like everything was good. Um, in a lot of occasions, I would just tell you, "Oh, work's been really heavy. Oh, well, I'd lie, so and so has really been bothering me." I lied about a lot of things to throw you off the trail of what was going on. Even down to like when I added extra weight to my life, life was already heavy. It was already I felt a lot of things about our relationship, but then I would go out and I would add an extra addition into my life, an extra add-in that made my life more stressful, whether it be drinking behind your back or whether it be talking to somebody else.
Yeah.
And the weight of that now got added to the weight of life, and I had to keep lying, and I had to keep pretending like everything was good and lie and lie more. And so in a way you say, "Well, if you love me, then lie." But in a way I was lying about a lot of things, and I was lying about the things that I was using to cover up those things. And so it became one big lying mess
Yeah, but a
in my
little
life.
bit that takes some lying to yourself too.
Oh, 100%.
That
Oh,
takes
no,
a
no,
lot
no.
of lying to yourself.
Yeah, you started off lying to yourself to
Yeah.
tell you that it was okay. I've got the biggest lie I think I've ever told myself is I've got it.
Yeah. I mean,
I've got it.
yeah,
It's under control.
right.
I've got it covered. I'm covering up this with that. I'm good. I I I think that is probably the biggest lie that a lot of men tell themselves, that they continue to lie to themselves and say, "I've got it." I've got it is probably something that if I hear myself say that, I quickly stop and say, "Ho, ho, 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 ho. Do you really though? Do
Right.
you really
Well,
have it?"
I mean, we're not meant to carry it all. I don't think, even all that we have, I I don't it's not on me to carry. Like, um, and that's why I think I lean so heavily on God with our marriage because it's
Mhm.
like, I actually cannot carry this all. I cannot meet your needs
Yeah.
in my own strength.
Yeah.
I cannot meet where you are emotionally. Like, if you are to come to me with something, I don't think I have the ability without him. And the reason I say that is because I truly don't sometimes you're telling me a symptom and he's the only one that really knows the root. I don't know
Sure.
if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
no, no,
Like,
no, no, it makes
you're
perfect
coming to
sense.
me with some stress at work and really it's some disappointment that you may be feeling down that's coming out through this, stress
For
at work.
sure.
And so I do I think you're right. If ever I'm like, "No, I've got this. No, you can tell me. No, we're gonna get through. I'm gonna get you through this." I think right there should be a massive red flag
Mhm, mhm.
because I can't. I don't have the ability to. Um,
And that goes vice versa.
oh, for sure.
I don't want it to be
No, no,
like, "Oh, yeah,"
no.
because the truth of the matter is as a man, a lot of times it's like, "Oh, well, I'm built to carry my weight and your weight." And the truth
And
is that
society kind of tells that lie. I mean, society teaches men that, like, hey, you're supposed to carry the family. You're supposed to be the protector. You're supposed to be the provider. You're not, you're supposed to protect them. And I don't think that protection is just talking about physical protection. I
for
think a
sure.
lot of times it's talking about financial, um,
Emotional.
emotional, physical, mental, right?
Mhm,
There's this level of like,
mhm.
you're supposed to protect your woman. And if you don't, somehow that has made you less of a man.
100%.
Somehow you have failed in your
100%.
job as provider and protector. But I think that's a lie society has told us. That's not what men are called to do. You are called to lead, but I do not believe you are called to protect against things that you actually have that is actually it's very prideful.
That listen to me, that not only is it prideful, but it then has you shooting ducks that you don't even know, like,
Yeah.
what's go like, I'm trying to help solve a problem for you because that's what men do. We solve problems, we fix stuff, but I don't even know where it's really coming from. You as you just said earlier, you could be lying to me about what the real source of it, or you may not even
We might
know
be lying to
what.
ourselves. We just said we will go to great lengths to lie to ourselves.
And so it's like, uh, and this is why I think it was so interesting when we were doing life without God, because it was all on me. It was all on me to
Yeah.
figure this out. Um, I think when I began to trust Him, it wasn't like, well, God, give me clarity to understand what she's going through. No, it was,
No.
don't want that, God. I don't want that. That's the worst thing I could ask for. It's God, I'm praying over her life. I'm praying that you meet her in the middle of where
Yeah.
she's at and what she's going through. God, reveal to her, not to me, reveal to her what's really behind that pain point that she's feeling right now and what's going on in her life so that she's not walking in the dark.
Yeah.
Allow her to stop living behind the lies she's told herself and allow her to see what you want her to see in all of this.
Yeah.
And then allow her to trust you with it.
Yeah.
To be able to, and I think this is probably one of the greatest things that we saw today or heard today at church, of opening our hand and allowing him. It's a posture of surrender to say, God, I have carried this so long
Yeah.
that I believe the lie that I got it. I got this. And the truth is my pride has allowed me to take you out of the equation and trust you with what I believed was mine to carry and mine only.
Yeah. And I think on the flip side, the person who is experiencing that situation of I fake it all day at work, I don't want to have to fake it at home, also is being prideful because they are trying to hold it and fix it and figure it out all on their own instead of, again, opening their hands and saying, you know, God, this is the situation or whatever is weighing on me, it is can you show me what this is? Can you, because sometimes you come home and you're like, I don't even know how to explain what's wrong. I'm just exhausted from faking. And I think, or I'm just exhausted and I don't know how to even pinpoint where it's coming from or where I'm experiencing this. So I think that's on both, like the partner who's experiencing the faking and or the desire for faking and the partner who is the one faking. I think that's where it's interesting to say, I don't know, I'm sure not everyone, but a lot of people have heard like the triangle, as you seek God. Like if it's you and God in a marriage, as you seek God, at some point you meet.
Yes, the two of us meet.
Yes, the two of us meet. And so that's what I'm saying. From the person who is experiencing whatever outside the home and coming home and not able to bring, I don't want to say their best self because I think that that's overused and not really accurate to say best self, but let's just use it for lack of a better word right now. But them going to God about that and, okay, why is this? What can I do? Where are you leading me? And then the other person praying for the same clarity for that person. I think in the end you do meet.
Yeah.
And so but that goes back to my point. Like, I don't think that one side of that conversation takes full ownership. The person faking and then coming home and giving the quote unquote the worst of themselves doesn't need to fake it. But the person experiencing that also needs to leave room. And if they're both working to fix that situation or fix that, I think that it's both sides. I don't know. I felt like the video and even the comments, because, I'm a comment girl. I love to go to the comments. A lot of the comments were like, yeah, that's how it is. And then other people were like, well, no, I don't want you to lie to me. Like, I think there's this almost like it's the other person. And I think really it's a combination of the two. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
They both have to, there's ownership on both sides for that.
For sure.
For that dynamic.
And there was a question I wrote down of, is there such a thing as a loving lie?
No. Sorry.
Quick. Hey, listen, she don't play around.
No, I think when you are lying, if you get down to the root of it, it's selfishness.
Yeah, there's pride. It's not about like it's not real love. It's not. You've convinced yourself it's love, but it's not love.
Yeah, I mean, because it's under the guise of protecting someone. I'm assuming typically is what a loving lie is, and really, you're really not protecting them. Let's say, well, I'm not protecting myself. I'm protecting this. It doesn't matter. You are protecting someone
Yep.
over for that lie. Because if you were truly loving them well, you would know that love is truth. Like
Man,
there is
that's gonna
truth.
listen, that's gonna rub so many people in a weird way because I was a guy. I'm sure you were too, but I can't speak for you. That the way I loved you or the way I lied to myself and that I was loving you was by protecting you from the life I was living outside of this house. And so as long as you don't know and don't find out,
Yeah.
then I protected you. And that was the lie I told myself.
Yeah.
So in a way it was a loving lie.
Yeah, but I mean, I think we can go
What?
we can go something as simple as um that obviously that's a more extreme example though, I would say. Like some people would say, "Well, no, when my wife asks me, do I look fat in this dress?" I say no. And but again, some women would say, "If you love me, lie to me."
For
On that,
sure.
right?
100%. They're gonna come back and say
But
that. Yeah.
I think that's for us to really sit down and consider, like, are we asking our spouses and our significant others to lie to us so our feelings are not hurt? Are we asking them to lovingly lie to us? Because most women would say, "I don't want my man to lie to me. I don't want him to lie to me. Like, I let me find out you're lying." But then we will continuously ask them to lie. I think
Mm.
yeah, I think, it's something we have to ask ourselves. Are we when we are asking questions, when we are talking to our spouses, are
Mhm.
we really asking for the truth?
What expectation are we putting down and setting with our
Correct.
spouses, whether we recognize we're saying it or not?
Correct.
What are we programming them to believe? So in turn, they will move that way to say, "Hey, listen, like if you out here doing stuff, I better not find out."
Yeah.
What is that to tell me?
I
Okay,
have heard that one
say
too.
less. Then I will
Well,
bet it up. I'll make sure you don't find out. Like what?
yeah.
Okay, you just set the tone for that.
Yeah.
And so later on, if you find out, well, my bad. I slipped.
Yeah.
I messed up. I ain't mean for you to find out. I ain't mean to get caught. I was trying my best to protect you.
But you are talking about more extreme lies.
Okay, I'm sorry. I listen. We come here, we come here
No, I know that.
like very transparent in that
But I
we're
think a
vulnerable
lot of
about like
people
I can only speak on my
right,
experience.
but what I'm saying though is I think a lot of people would be like, "Well, that's not what that I would never accept that or I would never say that."
Right.
But I'm more speaking about the little things like,
Oh,
"Well, you
oh,
made
oh.
this dinner. Is it good?" And when it's
Yeah.
not good and he says, "I really don't like it." How do we react? Because what happens is when we set a culture of lying, then
Yeah.
it can grow.
You know, it's so funny when you said that. I thought about, and this is, I don't, I'm not hitting anybody in particular, but there was a conversation I had with a guy one time where he was like, yeah, my wife's cooking, it's okay, but normally I'll stop off at the gas station or somewhere on the way home before she cooks, and I'll grab like some food and I'll eat it in the car, and then I'll dump the trash at a gas station before I get home so I don't have to like go hungry because I'm lying to my wife about her cooking. It's like, bro, that's I mean, no judgment. That's crazy though. That's a lot of work, bro. That's a lot of work. How
Yeah,
long do you
I don't think it's
like
judgment.
and in a way, are you protecting her by like lying to her about her cooking? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
But I mean, I think the
Sheesh.
bigger question is honestly, and if that wife were to hear, she might say, "Yeah, I hope my husband would do that and not tell me he doesn't like my kids." That's where I say, you say the statement, "If you love me, then lie to me," and you say like, "Oh my God, no one says that." But we do ask our spouses to do
For
this.
sure.
We do,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yep.
so I think I struggle with the statement because I think we do.
Yeah. No, for sure. And
Because there's a level
yeah.
that a female, if I come to you and say, "Hey, do I look fat in this?" If I come to you
Look at me. Don't look over there. Listen, if you watching this with your spouse, keep your head forward.
but if I say that, am I really asking you? Because I will sometimes look at you and be like, "No, I'm actually asking you, like, do I look fat in it?" I'll have to clarify
I don't
because I
even know
actually
what
want
you're asking me right now. I don't even know what you're asking me right now. Like, bro, this is a trick
Yeah.
question. There's no good answer to this. So the best answer is what? No answer.
If I'm being honest, I would say women should not ask that question if they don't want the real answer.
Man, listen,
I'm just being honest.
you say that and you're right. You're right. So listen, what she's not saying is give her the truth next time, because in giving her the truth, that is going to open up a conversation. You will have a conversation whether you wanted it or not
Yeah.
that night. There will be a conversation that will follow. And know that both parties may not be emotionally intelligent enough to handle that
Yeah.
conversation, but there will be a conversation in being honest and true.
Yeah. I guess my whole thing with this conversation and why I thought it was so interesting, because yes, there's a sense of like, you want me to lie to you? And people think it's crazy when she's like, yes. And I think that it is crazy, but we ask for it all the time.
Why do you think I started off this conversation saying, man, this is crazy, right? This is going to be a crazy conversation. I don't even know how to have it.
I mean, I think
I mean, we have, but
right, but I think like in like an actual working relationship, like not on a podcast, not
Mhm.
just having a conversation. How do you navigate that? Like, how do you navigate even in yourself, like before you're asking certain questions or before you're asking for certain things? Ask, like really digging down in yourself is like, what am I asking him to do in this? So when I'm asking you to come home and I want you to fake it like you're faking it out there with everybody else,
Mhm.
what is that doing for me?
Yeah,
Like, what
yeah,
is that? Is that is that making me feel better? Is that lightening the load that I feel like I'm carrying? Is that, making me feel like we're okay? Because maybe I don't feel like we're okay. Maybe that's really what's going on, and
yeah,
that's why I can't hold space for the anger, and I can't, and I'm not talking about, like, out of character anger or, like, unhealthy anger. I'm talking about just natural, like, anger, not yourself kinda thing.
right.
Is that what I think stopping and really asking myself, when he comes home like this, when I'm asking this question,
Mhm.
when I'm asking him, do I look fat in this? Is it that I'm actually wanting to know if I look fat in this, or I just want to feel better about myself? So maybe I say, does this dress look pretty? Because the fat answer, you could still look fat in a dress and still look pretty. I mean, like your husband or your significant other can still think you look beautiful, and maybe you do look fat in it. Like, I'm just being is that wrong to say? Maybe we need to
No,
clip
no,
that.
no, 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 no. I like once again, I don't have any answers for that. I don't have the answer.
Don't have the answer.
I don't have the answer.
Oh, man.
I will say, you know what?
Sorry.
Once again, no. Once again, I would say this, and it is true. We don't have the answers for every situation that's
Yeah.
going to arise. And the truth of the matter is as much as we've grown through a lot of these conversations, there are some questions, answers, moments in our relationship where it's like, ooh, well, dang, I didn't see that one coming. But I would say that in all of this, I think it's good to leave people with like questions they can ask in their own
Yeah.
in their own life, whether it be self-reflecting questions for themselves or great questions they could have with their spouse. And I have one or two here. Um, and that where in your relationship do you feel yourself faking it the most,
Yeah.
and why? Where do you, because I think that I don't want to say that we're saying here that you should keep faking it, but I think that you
No.
should recognize how you're faking it in your relationship and why it is that you're faking it.
Well, and I think that on the flip side, the person that is, and I don't wanna demonize or make them seem bad, like the one that is wanting the faking, I think also asking yourself, "Why do I need that?
That's a good point.
What's going on?" I think this this dialogue, this conversation, this dynamic that we've been talking about, this "if you love me, then lie to me," it's less about the other person and what they should or should not be doing, and I think more about, like, what is it answering inside of me when I'm asking them to do that, or what is it answering inside of me when I'm acting like this?
Yeah.
So I
No.
think that question could go both ways if you just change from which perspective they're asking it. And this is honestly a question, like I said, when you gave this to me, I was like, "Oh, but I do."
Yeah.
And so honestly sitting and thinking about like, okay, when I'm asking this of him, what am I really asking?
Yeah.
And what am I really looking for? And thinking about that before I put you in a position to lie to me.
100%.
Because even the simple of the, do I look fat or is this good or whatever?
Are we good? Are we good?
Are we good? Right?
Ooh,
Are we
that used to be
good?
a big one.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't really ask that anymore. Our dynamic and relationship is very different. But
For
yes, that
sure.
used to be a very
Are we
big.
good?
Yeah. Are we
Yeah.
good? Realizing like when I'm asking that, am I putting you in a position to lie to me?
Mm-hmm.
And if I am, and I'm a little bit, I would be better with the lie. Like if you said, yes, I'm good. Yeah, we're good. If I'm not going to react the same as no, we're not good,
Right.
then I think I need to answer some questions in me before I'm coming to you.
Come on, that's good. No,
And
that's
so
really good.
I didn't want to have this conversation because this is something you and I have perfected or figured out because we haven't.
No, not at all.
It actually brought up some questions in me.
Yeah.
About like, because I resonated with the woman in the skit. I resonated with what she was saying. I understood. And when he answered the way he did, I also understood like, oh, that is what she's asking of him.
Yep.
And how often are we doing that to our partners?
100%. Well, I also have an additional bonus question for those who get through that one. But
if you get through
bonus question, if you get through that one, of do you think love should make the truth easier or harder to tell?
To tell?
Yes. And maybe I mean, like I said, I'm not asking you to answer that today. It's just something for people to leave here with questions for themselves, for their partner, to like ponder, to reflect on, and to even ask like if it does, if love, where does that love come from? Because you know me, we always talk about like where our source, or where do we source, where do we what is our standard of love, and how do we look at that standard of love, and with understanding that standard of love, how then do we show up not only loving each other but loving ourselves and loving others, and recognizing that there was a time where I felt like if I loved you, it's easier not to be honest with you. But as I've learned and as God's shown me, that love says that honesty is always the way. Honesty is always the way, despite the consequence you are already formulating, knowing that there may be a consequence. There's probably going to be a consequence, but
let's say a result, because consequence has a negative connotation.
Okay. I think consequences.
That's true.
I think
Yeah,
consequence can be okay.
I think though when you're asking that question, and as we're pondering that question, like personally, not necessarily in a podcast forum, we should definitely remember what love is and what love is not. And so 1 Corinthians 13, 4 and 7. But I think to be able to say, well, is love, I think you have to do that, right?
No, that's good.
So love is patience. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered, and it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always preserves.
Yeah.
And so I think if you are trying to, or as you're going through questions, or answering those questions, or even as you're maybe navigating situations where you feel like you are kind of putting your partner in the place to lie, or the other person feels like they need to be able to respond to their partner's needs lie. I think remembering what love is, and then
moving forward
from what love is. Okay, how should I respond?
Yeah, for sure. Nope, that's true.
Because in our own feelings and in our own self-seeking way.
And know that is directed out. I don't know why I always feel the need to say that is directed to those who are. Wow, can I say that now?
I just wouldn't. But
yeah. Okay. I mean, there's some people that will never align with that scripture, or align as a believer. Like as a believer,
yes. I mean, that's what we.
That is how we see love. That is how we understand love. Recognizing
I think non-believers would
I feel like there's golden rules. I don't think that's ever made the golden rule list of what love should look like.
Yeah, maybe. But I do think that, and if you're not a believer and you don't subscribe, I think you still have to define love to answer that question, though.
For sure.
I
No,
feel like, yeah, I feel like
100%.
you have to have a starting line of like what love is, because if love is just to make me happy, well then, no, I don't need to be truthful.
About all this, man. None of this means nothing. That don't even mean nothing no more than what we talking about. Just make me happy. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like
Tell me what I want to hear. Yeah, I mean, so I think you have to be honest with yourself.
Okay.
And sometimes you might unknowingly be operating in the idea that that's what love is.
Yeah.
And if you sit down and really think, is it just about my happiness? Because then, yeah, I am asking you to lie. Yeah, I am going to lie because it's just about my happiness. It's just
Yeah.
about.
Sheesh.
So
Man,
I think
that one's gonna sting.
yeah. So that was really why I wanted to have the conversation, because I don't
Yeah.
think the question sounds sinister. The question sounds horrible. Like, why would somebody, if you love me, lie to me? But we do it and we ask that of our partners.
Mhm.
And I think that
Mhm.
that's not
Yeah.
how we're called to love.
And it's not. And I was just thinking about it. And we initially package this up of like, hey, look, if you're lying and you're acting a certain way at work and everywhere else, come home and lie too. But no, this is something as small as like, hey, how do I look in this? Hey, how does my food taste? Hey,
Mhm.
I mean, wow, this is like you wouldn't have told your boss that. You would have smiled and ate that. Like, don't
Yeah.
sit here and eat
Yeah.
my stuff and be like, did you put enough salt on it? Like, you better lie to me and we'll start that over here.
Yeah.
Better act accordingly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. This is good.
Yeah. See, was it as bad as you thought it was going to be?
No.
And
And
I will say it was not
I'm
comfortable.
I'm no, well, no, it's comfortable having it with you.
Yeah, it's not necessarily
So
comfortable
now
having
we
it on
get
camera.
now when people get to listen to this conversation, we get to watch, you know, and listen to, and we want to hear
Yeah.
your thoughts. We want to hear, how you address these things, and what are your thoughts on this? Because the truth of the matter is nothing we gave you today was an answer. The answer, it was what works for us. It's how we may
I don't
approach
even think
things.
we have the
But
answer
even that, and that,
for us.
we're still working through this in different situations
Yeah.
with different things. And know that I will never perfect the, hey, how do I look in this?
I honestly don't.
I don't think there's actually a good answer for that. So we're gonna like leave that answer just unchecked. I know they say, hey, look, come back to it on the test when you don't have the answer. No, that's one you don't even want to come back to. So yeah, but no, we are truly excited about just how these conversations will play out in your own life and your own relationships
Yeah.
and your own self-reflection. And sounds like we're being called back into parental duty because they're out here whispering and what? We can't hear you. You might as well just come on in here now at this
She's
point.
talking to Corduroy.
But hey, look, we appreciate you guys coming and sitting with us, enjoying these conversations as
I
much as we
appreciate my
do.
co-host
Yeah, yes.
coming to the conversation when
When
you don't really know what's going to happen.
But hey, look, we'll catch you guys on the next conversation. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Don't
you.
forget to hit the subscribe. We don't ever hit the subscribe so you don't miss the next one. If this was good to you, then you don't want to miss the next one because they're just gonna keep getting better and
Hopefully better.
Yeah, they're gonna keep getting better and better. We're gonna bring more content to you. You don't want to miss some of the shorts that we'll have that we'll tease before episodes. And who knows where we'll go with this podcast. It's the first season, so please hit subscribe. Go ahead and hit the bell so you don't miss it, so you'll get notifications when we drop an episode, and we'll catch you on the next one. All right.
Yep.
Love you guys. And what you want to do? What you want to do? You want to come on in here. Come on in here. Come on in here. No. Come here. Just come on in here with it. Yep. Go ahead.
And say, see you next time. Come back. You got to come back.
You got to come
You
back.
got- no,
sit on the
come
sofa.
back
Just
right
sit
here.
on the sofa. Yeah.
Say, see you next time.
See you next time.
All right.
Nice. Thank
There
you.
it is. All right. See y'all.